Welcome to another day of adventures with Wes and Jeff, and I'm in Bethel, Alaska. Bethel, Alaska is 400 miles west of Anchorage, and it is about 40 miles inland on the Kuskokwim River. And it's the regional hub for this area for transportation, as well as for shopping and medical needs, and all for 56 native communities all spread out throughout this region of the state of Alaska. It's the largest rural area in the state of Alaska, and they have a population of 6,500 people to support all of those other communities. The largest thing here is the Yukon Delta Wildlife Refuge, and that is a huge area. It covers 19.16 million acres. So the birders come in here to hunt for the birds, as well as other smaller mammals, as well as the moose and the caribou, the muskox, and fox and beaver and otter, etc. So stick with me today, and I will show you the things to see and do in the town of Bethel, Alaska. This is their boat harbor. These are all little fishing boats that are go out into the Yukon Delta for fishing, hunting for waterfowl here in the Bethel area. So it has its own little harbor that is along the river here. Very cool, very pretty. It's first in the morning, so the sun is just now rising. Not a lot of activity yet, but all the fishermen come in here to launch their boats out into the river, as well as into the tributaries. That's what it looks like. Very pretty. I'm at the first mission house, which was a church, a Moravian church, that was the first wooden structure built here in the city of Bethel in 1885. And it was built by Hans Torgensen, one of the first missionaries here in Bethel back in 1884, and so he decided to build a church. But unfortunately, while he was building the church, he perished in a boating accident here, and so two of the priests that he was working with here that had no construction experience at all completed this church. So it's still standing. It's not utilized anymore. They have a more modern church, but it's still here in Bethel. So just part of their history, that church is still standing. They did a pretty good job for not having any construction experience, none whatsoever. So it's the Moravian bookstore that they have here, and then this is their new church here that they have built on the same grounds. So they have a little complex here, but just part of their history of Bethel. I'm at Pinky's Park Trailhead, and it's a 2-mile out and back boardwalk trail across the tundra here in Bethel, Alaska. So I'm gonna check it out. It's kind of early in the morning, It's only around 9 o'clock, so it's still kind of chilly here, and the boardwalk is icy, but I'm going to check it out and see what there is to see and do. Pinky's Park Trail. It's the most popular hiking trail in Bethel. Such a unique environment. This is Pinky's Park Trail, and this is all tundra. So the boardwalk goes across the tundra, and there's small lakes, etc. that's in here in the tundra. Birds. It's kind of a mixture of buildings, homes off in the distance, but this park is right here in town. So walking along Pinky's Park Trail, and it turns into water here on the trail, so no access for this. So I'm gonna have to turn around, but there's a bunch of geese over in that little lake there. I wanted to check them out. So Pinky's Park Trail is this 2-mile boardwalk trail on the tundra right in town, where you'll see there's geese flying right there. See them? Yeah. There we go. And it's surrounded by the Yukon Delta National Park Wildlife Refuge, and it's just a nice little walking trail. Nice wide path, but in the morning hours it can be icy here in the latter part of September. I'm the only one on the trail, but it kind of it has an urban park as well. It has, like, baseball diamond and that kind of thing for the local residents, but little bridges as well as little lakes and that kind of thing incorporated into the area. So just a nice little trail if you're in the Bethel area. Take the time to check out Pinky's Park. And it's actually pretty this time of morning because sun's just rising, and you see waterfowl for sure. I'm on Pinky's Park Trail, and it's icy. It is so cold this morning. A little wind chill here in Bethel, and it's a little icy, so you kind of have to watch your step. But it's a nice little trail. It's pretty interesting. I liked it. For the past 47 years, Bethel has been home to the Kuskokwim 300, a premier middle-distance dog sled race spanning for 300 miles along the native traditional trails along the river from Bethel to Aniak, Alaska, and back. One of 3 cemeteries in Bethel, Ridgecrest, is high on the hill far from the river's edge. With no room for heavy equipment to access the grave sites, the family and friends must dig the graves by hand. Decades ago, Bethel had a cemetery along the riverfront. Summer storms eroded the graveyard, so the city found a new spot on high ground at Ridgecrest. Stones and crosses were moved along with caskets. I'm at the Yupik Cultural Center, as well as the library and the museum. I saw online that the museum might be closed today, but I'm gonna go in and check it out. They also are really well known, the native Alaskans here, the Yupik. They are known for their ivory carvings and their crafts and things. So I'm gonna check it out. They've got a little craft store inside. So I'm inside the cultural center here in the museum, and they have meeting rooms and they have a library. And unfortunately, she said, and they have a little gift shop. For the museum that I was interested in going to, the cultural museum, unfortunately they've lost their curator, so they don't have a curator for their museum any longer, so they had to close the doors. So maybe that'll get resolved in the future and people can enjoy learning more about the culture of the Yupik here in Bethel. Yukon Delta National Wildlife Refuge, and it's the largest wildlife refuge in the United States at 19.16 million acres. So they protect all the migratory birds and wildlife that exist here in this region of Alaska. So I'm going to go in and check it out. Delta National Wildlife Refuge, and this is their visitor center here in Bethel, and they are the largest national wildlife refuge in the United States if you count the water space, that's the lakes, the streams, the rivers, and all that, which I would count because it is part of the refuge, and it's where geese and waterfowl, it's like the largest concentration of waterfowl that nest here each year. So over 2 million, so it's like almost 1 million type of geese, as well as waterfowl that nest here, breed here, and make this their springtime home when they're raising their babies. So it's all this tundra and area around here that makes this very attractive for them. So this is their National Wildlife Refuge Visitor Center. So it's not only waterfowl, but it's also beaver and walrus and seal and bear and caribou as well. So I'm going to walk through their little visitor center. This is a pretty interesting display here at the Yukon Delta National Wildlife Refuge. Alaska's two largest rivers, the Yukon and Kuskokwim rivers, created one of the largest deltas in the world right here in western part of Alaska. This habitat is crucial to migratory ducks, geese, and shorebirds from North America and around the world. It's smaller. How big his feet are. This is an anvil, and that is a snowy owl. And the different types of fish. Ooh, look at this little boreal owl. He's a little bitty guy. Cool. He's a short-eared owl. They have lots of like little voles and things like that. So we have voles and little mice and things, and that's what the owls really love. Pintail and a yellow lid and the little martin. They harvested those pelts from the martin, and then of course the muskox. The muskox are in this area as well, and an eider, which is duck, ring-tailed, pretty with the kind of bluish green wings, and a red poll. It's a little bitty bird, more like a sparrow. And then these are the cranes. Now, this is a sandhill crane, certain type, and it has like a kind of a reddish on its head. And this is the little mink. It's surprising they have this, and a little muskrat. That would make sense, muskrat, but I'm surprised on some of these other animals. There's a loon. It's a big loon. Look how big his head is. And of course the beaver. You know, they harvested those darn beaver pelts. That's what brought the Russians in here. Those beaver pelts. And a Pacific plover. And the raven. I saw a few ravens today already on Peaky Trail. And this is the otter. So differences between a beaver has that big flat tail, and the otter, the river otter, has a furry tail. This terrain here in this part of Alaska, that tundra, it's hard for things to grow in it, and the reason why is that it has several top layers before it hits that permafrost, which is permanently frozen tundra. So nothing can grow in it, and it doesn't thaw ever. It just stays in that same state. And this little illustration shows this very well. I'm going to show it to you. So this is the topsoil here. The wet soil is what it's called. So it's the first 2 inches or so, 2 to 3 inches is called the wet soil. Then you have the peat, which is, you know, the next layer. And then you have the leach layers. And so that the roots kind of grow into that area. But then you have the permafrost, and the permafrost is permanently frozen, so it doesn't go down very far. So like a tree, roots would go way down past that point into the permafrost, and it would just dead end there, and it wouldn't be able to grow. Smaller trees might be able, or bushes, they can thrive in this, but none of them taller, spruce or any birch or any type of tree that is prevalent in the southeast part of Alaska can grow up here in the main part of Alaska because of these layers and this permafrost, and it gets too cold here. The annual salmon migration map, and it looks pretty cool. It goes right on up into the streams, into the interior of Alaska, but they come out of the Bering Sea and up into this huge river, and on up into the interior. elevation there. The lights are getting good. Let's see how it goes right on up into the freshwaters. Musk ox is a unique, large hoofed animal with horns native to Alaska. They are named musk oxen due to their musky odor that the males emit during the seasonal rut to attract females for mating. They were hunted to extinction in the 1920s in Alaska, but due to conservation efforts in the 1930s, these animals now roam the state of Alaska. This is a willow ptarmigan. So some of these things I've never seen in my whole entire life. So the tundra hare, obviously from it, and there's a little Arctic fox, about a bit bigger than a house cat. And this is the red fox. I've actually seen one of these here in Alaska before. And of course all of your different types of salmon run. And then all these different types of birds that are located here. Different types of goose. Now this emperor goose is somewhat extinct, so we're not letting anybody harvest any of those here in Alaska, in this part of Alaska. But different types of shorebirds they have here. And this one looks like a hawk. It's a gauche. It is a gauche hawk. Different type of hawk that I've never seen before. Then the terns. I've seen terns before, but very interesting. I'm gonna watch their little film and life in the Delta, and this is about the natives. They've been here over thousands of years in this Kuskokwim River area, the Delta. Interesting. Moose, and then this is some of the kayaks, canoe that the natives have built. These are some of the fish traps that they utilized, as well as the wooden ones. Interesting. These are the mud flats. These are the different areas. There's mud flats, there's wetlands, there's tundra. There is meadow grass, there's a meadow sage-grass meadows, and there's the lowlands, there's lakes and tundra pools. So very cool. They also have here in Bethel one of the largest regional hospitals in the state of Alaska, and everybody comes here. 56 different communities, villages in this area out in the tundra come into Bethel in order to get medical services and other shopping and all those things, but this is just one of the large facilities here. Going to be employee residence for hospital workers, because this is the regional center for the hospital is right here, and it's all like spread out, and the cinema is over here. So they have a cinema, they have a swim center with 3 lanes, they have some lodging there. It's all spread out into different areas though, and an elder's home is what that's So these are moose antlers, and they've been tipped, and they're getting ready to transport these guys to probably the people that hunted them. So they're going off. Their tips have all been tipped off so that they don't get crunched or damaged. It's a little larger than some of the other smaller village airports in Alaska that they have. It's pretty much chaos, like most of them are, because there's so many hunters and fishermen and stuff that have bags, and people are hauling a lot of different things, and they don't pack light because they have to camp out or they're boating or all that. So these are all the people coming in, and those are the people going out. And we have locals as well as the fishermen and the hunters and all of that. These are my colleagues here in Bethel, Alaska, and they're going to give me a good seat for my flight. There you go.
We heard you want to be on the right side of the plane.
Right side of the plane?
There you go.
Okay, so we are taking off from Bethel Airport and heading to Anchorage. This is one of the 3 daily flights out of Bethel, linking those. Some more of the tundra out in the landscape. This is the town itself here, and you can see how the river comes in, and the whole town is framed right on the banks of that river. Hospital and all of there's those tankers there. That's the whole town right down there. That was Bethel, Alaska. Different way of living, that's for sure. Okay, that wraps up my adventure here at Bethel, Alaska, and I'm headed out now back home, but it was kind of a fun day. If you enjoyed this video, just click the like button down below, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe to our channel for future travel adventures. So whatever you're doing today, get out to the great outdoors and do something that makes you smile.